Hello. This video will be the start of a new series for my channel called Proposing New Ski Areas, in which I'll do as I just said, like making a new map for a ski area that doesn't exist. And today I have my first proposal, which is Milk Canyon Peak Resort in Utah. Anyway, let's get right into it. So originally I was gonna I had this little area down here called like Denver Ridge and like the far like bounds area of the resort. But then I looked at some satellite data and those areas look a little sketchy when it hasn't snowed recently. So I kind of had to amputate those parts of the resort that were not fit for skiing. And generally, this resort would be not the greatest in terms of snowfall. I mean, for my guess, it probably would be similar to Park City or Deer Valley in terms of snowfall. But, I mean, they still exist, so I think it'll be fine. I don't know, but I had to make a new map. Or, well, at least modify it. So, you can see here that this is the full resort in its entirety. But we'll start over in Mill Village. This is kind of like my little overview of the resort and its terrain. So I'm going to zoom in. So over here you got the two out-of-base lifts. You got the Utah Express, which is a 6-person and 10-person telemix lift. The gondola's main purpose is to shuttle ski school up to where the ski school area is up here, with the Easy Town Chair and the Magic Carpet that serve it. Also up here is the Park Bound Express, which would serve most of the resort's terrain parks: Lone Park, Box Elder Park, Steep Slalom, Insano Slalom, Mill Central Park, and Downtown Park. So those would be the main parks of the resort. There would also be the small little progression park up here at the Knoll Park. And then you also got the Knoll Ridge Express, which, for scale, this lift would be longer than American Flyer at Copper Mountain. It would be about 2 miles long, so it's a pretty long lift. Actually, really long lift. It would be up there in terms of longest lifts in the U.S., possibly the longest, I'm not sure. But it serves a couple nice green like cruisers and a couple shorter blue and black areas around it. And this little bowl up here with this little black and blue areas would be pretty nice. And then Park Bound also has some other runs that drop into these little valleys too. And then you got the bakery chair, which is not that big of an area, but it serves mostly like mogul blacks. I would probably do mogul blacks there. And then a couple blue mogul runs to like practice on. And then over here you got the Wasatch Express, which would probably be the best blue cruiser area in the resort. It serves a wide swath of blue terrain, like all over here. And then off of that you can access the Heber Grill right here at the top of the Wasatch Express. I also forgot to mention the Northern Territory Grill over here at the bottom of the Knoll Ridge Express. And then Independence Chair. Oh, sorry for that. There's a typo there. It says Independence Chair. So that's a little mistake on my behalf. But it would have a little bowl up here in the corner, but it would be mostly mogul blacks off of it. And then we got the middle Uintah base. Off of here, you would access either the Cedar or Utah Expresses. Off of the Cedar Express, you have a little green, like, bunny hill almost, and a little progression park at Cedar right here. And then it wouldn't serve any other run besides that green. And then you have the Uintah Express, which would be another, which serves a couple blue cruisers, but mostly blacks. And then off of the Uintah Express, you could access the Horizon Bowl triple, which would be a pretty long triple chair. Like, I think it's under a mile long, but it still would be like a 10-minute ride, 10-minute ride. And it serves probably the most extreme terrain at this resort, including, like, it serves about these little 3 bowls well, actually not little, but serves these 3 bowls here, including, I would name this one the Horizon Bowl. Well, obviously, because the chair's named that, but I haven't named really any of the runs because I don't want to really take the time right now to name all of them. But over here, you got some steep, like, cliffs and chutes over here and on these sides. But yeah, this area is filled with a lot of cliffs, rocks, and chutes, and a couple open bowl areas that are easier. And up there is the Summit Lodge as well. And you can also come over here and access the Forest Lake Bowl from the top of Independence or from Horizon and the Summit Gondola, which is over here. And it would probably have the best snow at the resort. We'll get to that area later. Then you have Alpine Station, which would suffer from the worst snow at the resort. So the lower terrain, like these two blue runs that serve the base of the resort, would be supplemented by snowmaking because it really doesn't get that much snow compared to the rest of the resort. This is where I cut off all the terrain because my original design had terrain here and here. But you can either take the Denver Ridge Express, which can help you get up to either the South Pole Express or the Polar Express, or you could take a little lap down one of these blues, which I probably wouldn't recommend. Yeah. But then you can also access the Polar Express from the Summit Gondola, which would be a really long gondola, but it would serve the entire vertical of the resort, which I believe is about 3,800 feet. From the bottom of Alpine Station to the top of Mill Canyon Peak. Actually, it's 3,841 feet of vertical. It's pretty good. And the Polar Express would serve actually most of that. I believe around 3,000 vertical feet at the Polar Express. It would be pretty good. And then you have the Polar Grill and the Southern Territory Bistro at the bottoms of these 2 lifts. The South Bowl serves mainly blacks and a couple blue cruisers. And it'll have a little bowl area at the top here. Now, the Polar Express would be a pretty fun area as long as it has good snow. The Summit would have a couple open bowls, but it has a few little it doesn't really have that many chute areas, I think, but it would be a pretty wide open bowl area the whole way down, all 3,000 vertical feet. So yeah, that would be cool. And then you have the lefties and righties bowl and their chairs, respectively. Serve a wide open little bowl area. From what I saw, this area didn't melt even though it's south facing that much, so I would keep it open. I decided not to cut it out. And then you have these little tree cut trails down here on the other side, opposite of the bowl, north facing. And you could also access some other mogul blacks that drop into the Uintah pod. And that is an overview of the front side of Mill Canyon. And now let's go to the Forest Lake Bowl. Okay, so here is the Forest Lake Bowl. The Forest Lake Bowl could be accessed via either Independence, which drops off right about here at the top of Independence Peak. I mean, a lot of these peaks that I named them myself because I couldn't find any names online. But you can either get off at Independence or at the top of Mill Canyon Peak and ski down into the bowl. It would be served by the Forest Lake Express due to it being it would be 1.1 miles long. But this would serve probably the nicest, overall, nicest terrain of the resort with the highest quality snow due to its north-facing aspect and that it's at a high elevation relative to the rest of the resort. So this would be a pretty nice area to hang out, and the only gripes with this area would be the long traverses out of this area, out of these little chute and tree areas on the side here, and this the Independence this bowl off the Independence lift, because it would be a pretty flat traverse. But yeah, that's a general overview of the resort, and I'll add some other details like logistics next. Well, at the moment, Mill Canyon Peak isn't in the greatest location. The all the roads to it are like, there's a dirt road that serves the final stretch, and there isn't really a direct access to it. Like from Provo at the moment, it's an hour and 1 minute, which isn't great. And Park City is only 58 minutes away, which, I mean, I don't know. That's just, it should be closer, but I think the fix for this, though, would be a road up Little Deer Creek Canyon. So it would make the drive shorter. And if we paved the road up to the actual mountain itself and like the base areas, especially Mill Village, it would make the drive shorter. I would say that it could be as short as like 45 minutes if they did all those projects from Provo. But from Salt Lake City, it's a little further than that. From Salt Lake City, it's about an hour 28 minutes. Well, like an hour 25, hour 20 minutes from Salt Lake City. So Park City would be closer from that, which I expected. But also, here's the general location of Mill Canyon compared to some other resorts in the vicinity. It would be the second closest resort to Provo. It's still not as close as Sundance, but it would be farther away from Salt Lake City because, I mean, the Cottonwoods resorts and Park City and Deer Valley are significantly closer because you have to pass through Heber to get to this resort if you're coming from that side. But hopefully if they were to ever build it, which this is never going to happen, but if I were to build it, I would build that road up that canyon, and it would make it faster from Provo, and you wouldn't have to go through Heber at all like you do now. But that's some of my logistics of the resort, and I'm gonna just add on a little map of the resort, like terrain, like what the terrain would be, or the acreage. So I'm sorry for my bad wording. So that was my first ski area proposal for this new series. I hope you enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time making that map, so I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you later. Bye.